Welcome to Howard, Kansas, a very unique small town and one of the cooler places you can check out. I'm standing here in front of what's called Hubble's Rubble, which is right along kind of the main road that goes to Howard. We're going to come back here and check it out at the end of the video, but right now let's head downtown. As we walk down Main Street here in Howard, Kansas, there's a lot of cool stuff to check out, a lot of old buildings. Obviously we love the red brick. Let me tell you a little bit about Howard, Kansas here. So we are in Elk County, which is in kind of southeastern Kansas, definitely the south part of Kansas, eastern, central, something like that, I guess you could say, looking at the map. Howard is right in the middle of the county. The county changed a lot through the years, especially in the early years. It was named Godfrey before statehood in 1861. It became Seward County, became Howard County in 1867. But it wasn't, so it was Howard County. You're thinking maybe, how did it become Elk County? There was a lot of disputes about the county, and Howard was kind of a big area that actually was what is present day 2 counties big. And there were about 5 different towns that were battling over the county seat, and Howard was one of them, and it ended up taking the Kansas militia to keep the peace back in the kind of 1860s to make sure everybody could get along reasonably well as they were starting all these towns. But it was founded in 1870 and incorporated in 1877. It is named after Oliver Howard, who was a Union Army Civil War general. And kind of interesting, is named after Oliver Howard. He started Howard University, and Howard University is a historically black college on the East Coast. And what's even more interesting is that Howard, Kansas was a sundown town at one time, and if you're not sure what that is, you can look that term up, but all that is kind of an interesting historical perspective on Howard, Kansas. Population-wise, Howard kind of peaked in the early 1900s at 1,200 people. It kind of stayed there all the way through the 1900s, kind of around 1,000 or in that range. And then in the last 20 years, it's really started to drop off. Is currently down to 570, and so it is less than half of what it used to be. There are a lot of old historical buildings. Obviously, as you're checking this out as I'm talking, there's a museum here in town and a lot of cool places to check out. We are back here along the main road that comes into Howard at Hubble's Rubble. I don't know much about the history of Hubble's Rubble. I did stop here on one of the first videos I ever did, one of the first videos on my channel. I was just kind of like driving around randomly through Kansas and saw this. It's kind of one of those roadside attraction type things. It's totally free. Maybe somebody from Howard or somebody from the area can put in the comments of when it was started, and it looks like it kind of is upkept. So some really interesting folk art, as you could say. Like I said, we're right here by a busy road, so it's windy and it's busy today. I always am fascinated by stuff like this. There's a lot of this kind of stuff in, out here in Kansas, and not traditional art, but very cool. Obviously, it's taking some homemade things and putting things together. There's a Kansas staple, the Tin Man. So yeah, whoever put this together, very creative, very awesome. What do you think's in this office here? There's some wasps in there. Oh my. Looks like it's their office. All right, that's Howard, Kansas. Very cool place to check out.